Good morning. I am higher vibrations and so are you. And boy, oh boy, has it been a light show of energy. We've had so much happening. A lot of us are noticing an increase in ascension symptoms. An ascension symptom is a noticeable change in mind and or body. Often we'll notice that there is some type of uh, physical sensation regarding this. We call them growing pains, though often we don't even realize that they are this. And so we have historically, I had historically gone to the doctor, not to say you shouldn't go to the doctor. This is not medical advice. I had found for me that I would go into the doctors and they would say, "You're healthier than you ever were before." And they look at me suspiciously. And I just wanted to know I was okay. And then we started to talk to larger groups of people and finding out we all have these symptoms simultaneously across the planet. At an earlier time, we were taught that 90 to 95% of our DNA was called junk DNA. It was junk. And it's turning out, they're finally telling us that it is in fact not junk, but dormant. And this dormant DNA is coming out of dormancy. It's coming into alignment with accessibility by us, updating and upgrading our actual DNA. It's I know it sounds incredibly bizarre, but if you stick around and listen, you'll notice a lot of these symptoms are symptoms that you also have. And so one of those things that I've been noticing the most, by the way, did anybody sleep last night? Because holy cow, I did not. I was up it was weird. Like I know my body was tired because I would open my eyes at being like, okay, I should just and I was almost asleep every time. And it was really frustrating. It was really frustrating. I was tired, man, and arms so many times today. Uh, on top of that, feeling back again, that heart stuff again. And I've noticed a pattern in the Schumann that when we get to the static energy that we're in now, we just recently had like these angel wings and then like a rump swell of energy on the Schumann resonance data reporting center. However, after that, there was like this it looks like static. It's like mostly blue and some green like pieces. It's really soft looking. And that looking at it would say to me, oh, cool, we get a break. But in fact, I find that when we're in the static energy, this time of integration is what it ends up being, that there's more symptoms, that I'm having more ascension symptoms regarding the area of the heart. That feels like you're noticing a quivering almost. There's a vibration in the heart center, in the throat. Just enough, just subtle, but just enough to detect it. Also, this back stuff. I know a lot of you are probably going to say, yeah, me too, because this is something that we're all having happen right now. It's got to do with this activation in the back, through the back. The door of God is just behind your navel. So if you look at where your belly button is and go straight through to where your back is, this is an area where there is energy coming in. Energy that's coming in to help us. It looks like rainbow to me, and it's moving up like a snake, I guess, kind of like a kundalini idea up through all of our chakras. And so we're getting some type of incoming for our back area. And so I'm noticing it mostly on my mid to upper back is where I'm really noticing my density leaving. And so I'm noticing right there is really a lot of strong energy coming through. The ear ringing, of course, nonstop. We're having, again, the different weird spasm like shaking out in the body. Weird dream experiences now, man, they're getting to be so much more profound every freaking night, it seems like. And then you wake up so tired. You wake up, having not actually slept because we've been like working, right? We've been in the astral. We've been having conversations and doing stuff. A lot of these seem to be some type of conference or like I'm sorting something out physically. I'm needing to and it with these amazing energies, these amazing high frequency beings. And sometimes there's a pop here and there of somebody that appears in the conference. This is the funniest part, because I call it a conference, but it's like a gathering of people, they're all talking. And anyway, we'll be in the middle of having a conversation. You're listening. I'm listening is what's happening. And then there's a voice in the back of and they oh crap, what the heck, or something, and it's like that person just reached in, just barely came into that frequency where they can connect in this astral plane, and they were shocked by it, and then they're gone again, and it was just kind of a normal thing that you have these people that are coming in, as we wake up, as we become more able to access these higher frequencies. That's kind of what it looks like. It looks like you're popping up above a cloud plane, I lived in a place where there was great inversion when I lived in Utah, and in the wintertime, and you would climb the mountain in the canyons to get up above the cloud plane so you can actually experience the sun, and it's very much like that's happening for a lot of people right now, where they've been under this cloud for so long that they've learned to not believe in the sun. They've learned to not expect that there is one. And now, for one reason or another, they're compelled up the mountain, and just like the salmon, right? And they find themselves before this grandeur of light, and then it's kind of startling for people who don't expect it. So they pop their head back down again, up and down. And pretty soon, more and more, you'll see each individual staying up above the clouds a little bit more and more. And that's what it visually looks like. It's kind of fun, though. So a lot of people are waking up right now in a way that is just beautiful, and I'm just so excited to be here. Much love, everyone, says Trisha. Much love to you. Good to see you. Welcome. Crystal says, hey, from North Carolina. Hey, welcome. Hey, Chef Deb. Hey, fam. Good to see you, sweetie. Welcome. Happy to be here, says Dawn. Thank you all for showing up and being light for all to know love is love. Oh, thank you, Dawn. That was beautiful. I'm going to say that to y'all again. Thank you all for showing up and being light for all who know love is love. Y'all are so amazing. I look forward to Sundays when we get to come on here together. It's you guys have some awesome energy. I feel like family. Vegan Vixen in the house. Woo, woo. Good to see you, Vegan Vixen. Hello, AG. Good to see you. Welcome. Hi. How's your mom? Sending love to all. Hi, Terry. Welcome. Good to have you here. Night before last, I got up in the middle of the night for 3 hours, then crashed again. Yeah, it's this weird sleeping pattern stuff. I'm noticing this too, where I'm sleeping in shifts, or there's phases of sleep. I don't even know what to call it. Where I'm sleeping intermittently. I'm having, it does seem to have a pattern where it is about 2 hours for me. I'll sleep for about 2 hours, and then I'm waking up. I did get the knowing spirit, because I was wondering, I'm like, why do I keep getting waken up so quickly, so abruptly? And they said this is in order to allow you for a more precise recollection of what is being discussed. They said the endeavors, but that what's happening, what's being discussed, what's in that what we call dream time, or the dream space. It's often at least semi-astral. It's a very bizarre and cool place. And so we're being brought abruptly back into consciousness so we can remember. As we gradually leave the theta state, all the different waves that you go through. There's 4 different three things of cycling in sleep. The brainwave thing, as you move away from the theta place, and then the rapid eye movement place, then you slowly pull away from the dream and aren't able to recall it as well. That's why you'll notice when you're abruptly awoken, someone slams the door, your alarm goes off, the dream is there. If it's not, it's because you've been slowly already coming back to wakefulness. So if you don't recall your dreams, that's why. And that's kind of a fun trick to learn. People sometimes will set alarms. Hello, Bella. Alarms on their alarm clock so they can wake up faster or abruptly throughout the night. Lisa says, Mila, you are shadowed in green color, especially around your hair. Oh, I have a green screen behind me. That is cool, though. If I were okay with being dishonest, I would probably say something about my aura, but I'm sure a lot of you can see my aura. You can see it through my hand too. There's a green screen behind me. It's just something I started to do before when I had a small apartment. But yeah, thank you, Lisa. Sending love and light to everyone, AG. Hey fam, says Vanya. Love. Good to see you, Vanya. Are we being upgraded or what? Uh-huh. Sleep is a miracle. So exhausted, yes. And feeling kind of sad for no particular reason. The sadness, I'm glad that you brought this up actually, because I usually try to take a couple of notes so I remember some of the most profound things that people have been talking about and I've been experiencing, and this is one of them. It's this it's like a distant aching. There are moments where there's bouts of like grief, of like mourning. I noticed it. For me, it's very, very fleeting. It's the most interesting, fun, and bizarre thing when you lean right into it instead of going, "What am I feeling this?" I've like leaned right into it, and then yeah, let's also keep in mind that I've done a lot of the grieving that was left behind before, so maybe it's not as profound for me now at this point. However, as soon as I lean into it, it ends up being like a 3-second long moment of grief. Like it's really deep, and the tears that start to come are real deep. But it's as if the tear didn't even have a chance to streak my cheek, and it's gone because I've been able to lean into it. And so that's been the encouragement for years. I've been saying this over and over again for at least 4 years now. When we lean into whatever emotion it is that comes in, it goes. It's where we naturally have this innate desire to recoil from unpleasant pain, emotional, physical. You're not going to lean into the fire unless you've got some difficulty with, your priorities, and so we are just automatically retracting, pulling, recoiling away from this unpleasant sensation, and then only feeling it a little bit and trying to decipher it, figure it out. Like when we dissect something, and that's judgment. Judgment is deciding a thing about a thing. That's a statement from Archangel Michael. Judgment is not deciding if it's good or bad exactly. That is also included in this, but it's also deciding if it is. It's deciding, is it blue or is it red? It's deciding, is it feminine or masculine? If there's anything about it. When we decide about it, we are judging it. And when we judge it, we hold that thing in place. For when it is in judgment, it is imprisoned by me. And emotion is emotion, energy in motion. It's meant to go. So I don't mean to like bang that drum all the time, but it's very useful to know that, because a lot of the stuff we're experiencing, especially the stuff that's in the body, the stuff that's in the core of the body, I mean, a lot of this is pent up emotion that's not known how to get out. And so it's coming up the way that it can. So honoring yourself and letting yourself lean into it and feel it. Yeah. Especially when we're so exhausted, it's not something we want to do, really. It takes a lot of physical energy to emote. It really does. It can be draining. And so we talk, a lot of times we consider that too. But those are my suggestions in my own experience. Thank you so much for your comment, Vanya. Hello, Jim. Hello, feeling accelerated change. Oh, Jim, you were so on the money. It's picking up. It's like this exponential, it's amazing, this acceleration that we're in. There is a lot going on, I know, on the world stage. And I only know that because I feel it. A few people have tried to tell me a couple of things, but I really don't tap into the world stage any more than it's thrust at my toes, and that's only because I trip on it. But I do know that energetically we feel it. It feels kind of like, those puzzles, they have like those little blocks and you have to slide it in a frame. There's only one spot and it's got to it ends up being a picture. It feels kind of like that. You kind of almost feel the pieces sliding against the world plane. We're in some motion right now it's like returning back to what it's meant to be, and a lot of it can feel scary. It can feel this almost impending doom or anxiety kind of sensation. A lot of that, by the way, that we're feeling, this like accelerated anxiety sensation, has to do mostly with our empathic connection to everyone on this planet. And a lot of people, about 2/3 of the planet, are consistently, daily, 364, all that. They're in this place of just complete panic and fear, and so it's increasing right now. Did I say four? That's so funny. I just heard myself again come back, but that's just, anyway. Yeah, there's just a lot of constant incoming. Oh my gosh, this thing was a lie. That thing was a lie. Wait a minute, these are real, and that kind of stuff that's happening. There's also other things happening on the world stage right now, across the whole, at least the known world. So awesome turnout in London for the protests, says Vegan Vixen. It seems there was over 2 million people. The media said there were 100,000. Interesting. There's a lot of different protests and things that have gone along on the world stage. So that's interesting for you to. I'm happy that you enjoyed yourself. I'm one of those people. They had a little fair here, and I was like, that's a lot of mixed people. Are you sure about that? But everybody's got their abilities. I'm just not. I went to the corner store yesterday, and it took me like an hour to like clear that energy off. It's really intense right now out there, so my hat goes off to anyone who is out there doing that. Hugo, yes, things are vividly happening as you have conveyed, and yes, me too. Thank you for your comment, Hugo. Yeah, it's crazy. It's fun to see like how many of us are actually meeting in the same places when we go to these places too. When it's we call it dream time. Often we also will do this with intention into the astral place and plane, and also in remote viewing style. Also, it's a lot of different things. Those aren't the only three, in my opinion. I just don't know any words for the other in between parts. Anyway, is that it's beyond time and space in a way. So like you may have had that experience 8 hours ago, and I'm having it now, or even months ago. We've done in 2021, we did some amazing work for the planet, and we kept going back and doing this work. It didn't actually occur until 2024. So it's kind of fun to know that, but it's really interesting. Hi, Trina. Hubby had a fever 3 days, lots of neck pain and low back and ET dreams. Oh, wow. Yep. Yeah. Well, it's good to see you, Trina. I need to reach out to you. I'm sorry to hear about your husband. I know that there's been a lot going on, like the back stuff as well, and yeah, the ET dreams aren't meant to be scary. Often we'll find that they sometimes are, if it's not something that you resonate with and it's making you feel alarm, you can put out a request. I've noticed, you can be like, okay, can I have some energies from the angelic realm or whatever. But I can say that a lot of ET, interdimensionals, inner earth, angelics, a lot of these words kind of mean the same people sometimes. You know what I mean? The same beings. And so it sometimes can come across as something that is less in alignment with us when we're in a fear place in ourselves. So it's just something to be aware of. And then this back stuff, I see that you put neck and lower back. And I'm having this like upper to mid back. It's like kind of the broad line place and up. And a lot of this like stuff coming from the back of the neck. Like I'm noticing a lot of purging, like energy wise. And then the lower back, I'm actually noticing it's kind of this weird like rash type stuff. You know what I mean? Like a rash that's more of like, it's not acne. You know what I mean? I just got to say, I'm very clean. I shower, you know, I bathe, I do. And it's just, this is us purging this area of the body, and in particular where we're noticing like a lot of the stuff that we purge isn't just bathroom trips and just blowing our nose and stuff. It's also through our skin. And so we'll get these weird, not acne, kind of boil or small like ingrown hair kind of things that are being, this stuff being pushed through our pores. You know, a lot of times we'll actually notice many of the people who do the parasite cleansing kind of channels and talk a lot about this type of stuff, they'll mention that that's one of the ways you can actually tell that a young child has parasites, is they have these little bumps like around their elbows and the jawline and stuff like that. It's just one of those things, you know, it's a way we've purged naturally. It helps if we ensure that we have the water and salt that our body needs. And I mean like not table salt, you know, but like actual salt. Hey, Danita, good to see you. I was thinking about you. I'm so happy to see both of you here. Welcome. Vanessa says, I'm interested in learning more about the rainbow starlight or something similar you once talked about. The rainbow starlight. This sounds cool. I just don't know which one, what you're talking about exactly, because there's a lot of different things like the sparkles in the sky. There's actually, it looks like glitter. It looks kind of like glitter, if that's what you're talking about, because I've seen that a lot more. You can see the glitter in the air. It's something that's really, it's really beautiful. It looks kind of like the snow on a really cold day. I don't know if those of you who are in the regions where it gets this cold, where I lived before, it would get too cold to snow. It would literally just be too cold to snow. And so it would just be this weird, like frost would stick to everything. Anyway, in the in-between of that, you'll get the snowflakes are so frozen that it looks like glitter in the sky. And it looks like that right now. There's some weird, it's cool. You can almost hear the tinkling of it, like almost like Tinkerbell, you know. I'm glad that it's not me alone going through these things. Thank you, Hugo. Yeah, it's really good to know that we're not alone. Hello, Louise. Good to see you. Lois, I said your name wrong. I'm sorry. That's actually why we do this channel, is so we can know that we're not alone. We can know that we're able to, you know, and then there's other things we can do instead of what we've been taught previously. You know, we always feel kind of like imprisoned by these symptoms, these experiences that this is what we have to do now kind of thing. And that's not the case. There's ways through it. I know it sounds, because this is another word Archangel Michael gave me. He gives me these really cool words that just make so much sense. He called it the pill mentality. And we're talking about how we've been taught that if there is a symptom in the body, that what we need to do is we need to stop the symptom. And the symptom's actually a symptom of something. Usually it's an underlying emotion body. Glowing this eve, beautiful Mila. Oh, thank you, Kaz. Good to see you. Kaz Kelly's been putting out some really cool content lately. I haven't had a chance to like sit and comment, but I listen as it goes in the background. So thank you so much for your support and love, and just the services you provide. It's just been really awesome to see how many people are bringing out some really good messages these days. Edward says, while working yesterday, I've witnessed a lot of people are on autopilot. Yeah, dude, it's crazy. Like zombie style almost, right? Like they feel like they've suspended themselves from their bodies. It's like 2/3 of the planet. It's 2/3 of the planet. When you ask spirit, so I forgot to finish that comment though. I was just reminded, Archangel Michael wanted me to finish this part of that. So this pill mentality, we've been taught that we need an immediate result, immediate gratification is the words, in order to believe that something is working. When a lot of these healing remedy things that we have available for us are also quite simple. We've been taught we need to do this thing. It's weird and outside of our normal thing to do. That would be the only thing that could help it. And that's not true. Yeah. If we need to do it, probably not doing it. So it might be slightly out of our normal, right? But It has to do with simply moving. And they're not talking about like incredible exercise and going to the gym. We're talking about like qigong. Tai chi is also incredibly. It's amazing how much tai chi can really, and you can learn it on YouTube. You know what I mean? It's really cool. Dancing, you can dance in your chair. This motion is one of the most important things above all the other things. And then they mention meditation. After, oh, sorry, I didn't say the food part in the middle. What we're eating, what we're choosing to eat. It's okay if that's what you are choosing to do is not in the most alignment with your body. It's just that the more of it that we do, the harder it is for our body to metabolize and to process. And yeah, a lot of it brings in some things that to our body that we have to then clear. So it has to do with those things. And that's literally it. When we're meditating, when we're moving, and when we're not eating a bunch of crap, we naturally learn to listen to our body in that process too. You learn that your body's asking you for specific things because those are what your body needs to heal, or that's something your body's been depleted of, is stores from, needing more of this mineral or that. And that's why we use so much natural salt, like pink Himalayan salt. I had a long life of an early childhood of a stuttering thing, and that was always how I got my stutter out. So occasionally I'll do that. It's just really funny. I didn't mean to do that out loud. I had a profound stutter most of my earlier life until I was like 15 or so. Maybe, it wasn't all the way gone until I was like in my, early 20s probably. Anyway, and so, allowing yourself to, use the pink Himalayan salt, the Celtic salt, these types of salts that have all the minerals. There's 82 minerals in Celtic salt, and there are 79 minerals in pink Himalayan salt. And I believe river salt has 72 minerals. I always feel like I'm saying the wrong number for that, but it's a lower amount than the other two. The iodized salt, I think is what they call it, the table salt, actually is like only two minerals, and the rest of it is things that once had minerals and were cleaned from it, bleached out of it, and things like that. So anyway, it really does help us when we include the electrolytes that you get from the salt, from this real salt. It solves 90% of my problems that I find happening. Oh, sorry, you're talking to each other. I already clicked you. You were glowing. It's good to see you. Yeah, Edward, same at my job. It's very dull anymore going through work. Oh yeah, this autopilot thing. Yeah, it's really weird. Thank you for bringing that back in. Yeah, because it's like, I know that a lot of these old scripts, all these old stories, whether it be religious or cultural doctrine of some type, you'll see this concept over and over and over again. In the Vedic, it says 1/3 of the people are real. And when it talks about this, the Bible says that like 2/3 of the planet will leave. There's a lot of different words. And then there's this whole concept of like NPC, non-player character. How many of the people around us are not really here anymore? They're more of an echo because we did separate. We are in the motion of it, of worlds, where there's these orbs behind me, so this is old Earth, right? This is what we were calling New Earth for the longest time while we were moving into it. And then now we're in this other place. and we'll be along the line of it in a lot of different, like we could be at any point, but we're still here. However, the closer you are to one orb, the more you'll feel the vibration of that orb. So as we migrate more and more into, and there's more than the three, like it's just that this is the visual I have available to me right now. But as we migrate through, we'll notice that the one farther away from us doesn't echo as profoundly. Like, remember the soup telephone game? You use 2 soup cans and you have a string. You pull it tight and you talk into it, and the vibration from your voice follows that taut string through the soup cans and makes it so the other person can hear what you're saying. Very similar to what is happening here. And so the vibration from, let's say, way over here, if this energy right here, if you're up here, you're not really going to feel that or notice it, right? And so a lot of the individuals I find, I'm not saying that just because they're on autopilot that's the case, but I'm finding that a lot of the people who are actually an echo from so far away that they actually aren't really physically here. Like their soul is embodied more here than it is here, if that makes sense. It's also not set side by side the way this image is. It's more, there's one in the middle, there's one on top, one on top, one on top, one on top, and they all experience each other simultaneously. And just because we notice something doesn't mean it impacts us, so as we vibrate higher and higher, we're going to start to see things that we weren't able to see before, because the cloaking devices we always talked about and stuff like that, the cloaking was simply vibrating at a higher dimensional frequency than we were. And then when we start to vibrate at that frequency, we can also see it too. So it works both ways. It's very interesting. It's really interesting. Been a severe struggle going into work for about a year. Can't wait to retire. No stimulation anymore. Yeah, it's very, very difficult. I've been finding a lot of people reporting this. More difficult than before to participate in this. Like, I don't know a different way to say it. I don't like to say 3D, because it's a judgment. There's nothing wrong with 3D. There's nothing wrong with any of the D's. And those words don't even really work. They're actually octaves anyway. But yes, so a lot of people aren't really resonating with it so much that it does seem to deplete them in some way. You can fill yourself back up, but it's one of those things. It's like, if you don't have to do it, why? Meaning to make yourself have to fill back up again. Hey, it's 333 right now. My heart goes out to you and to everybody that, all this stuff that's happened. It's difficult. It's difficult being around other people right now, like in the mixed crowd way. Very physical symptoms this week, says Kaz. Left side hip. Oh yeah, left side, a lot of left side. And also I'm doing a lot of the right side, like I don't know what that, like just above the hip, I guess. It's probably the hip. It's but like the curve hip is what I'm talking about with the right hip. And then the left side too. Also the left foot and the left big toe. There's something there about that. I actually looked that up in the reflexology, and that particular toe is about water. It says it's the water element, and it has to do with speaking. And there's like this big callus that appeared there. That always means something, by the way. You can look it up in online, just reflexology on an internet search, right? Reflexology and the area of the body and meaning, right? So the thing, and it'll tell you. It's really interesting. Seems to be connected to those emotional purgy energies, healing and integration. Yep. Oh my gosh. Oh, by the way, if anybody didn't get a chance, Cass Kelly here was on the show a few weeks ago. I don't even remember. It was last month, I guess. Dang. Time is just spinning so freaking fast. Anyway, she did this amazing tapping demonstration that was really profound, specifically for anxiety in the demonstration that was done there. You can go back and find it in my earlier shows. And I think it's like about the middle of the show, for sure, or so. At one point, like I had all kinds of technical difficulties and I disappeared, but she did really good. Anyway, check that out it would really help. And you can change the word of anxiety to be a different word, that whatever it is that you need to help you at that time. So, but yeah, it does seem to be connected to these emotional purging that we're doing. It is. And so that's why it's really helpful to look up what it is. Also, the side of the body. The right side is divine masculine. The left side is divine feminine. And what it means to be in the divine feminine, or the feminine qualities, are considered when you realize it's on the left side versus If it's on the right side, then consider what it is to be masculine, what the masculine energy means. Often we're looking for the answers to those things, by the way, because the distortion that has been happening with the divine feminine, divine masculine energies previously here. There was like a hijacking that happened and all kinds of stuff, so what is thought to be divine masculine may be the distorted version, or what is thought to be divine feminine may be the distorted version, because a lot of us have been operating not in divine feminine at all energy here. Like I would say like 93% of the population has been operating in distorted divine masculine energy for decades at the very least, so we are now integrating this divine feminine, whether you are male or female, we all have both. So it's just useful to know that as well. And then you can look it up. You can also look up specific areas of your body in other ways. So you could say in the internet search, you can say what emotion is connected to, and then what organ, what area of your body is being affected. And it'll tell you the underlying emotional cause, because our physical sensations always have an underlying emotional body, which is why QHHT became so popular. Dolores Cannon was able to uncover and through this heal, help people, facilitate the space so people could learn how to heal themselves by expressing, feeling the emotion. It's all emotion based. It's crazy. It's really good to get rid of it, to feel it so it can go. Vegan Vixen, I agree with you with the dullness. I think we've all lost motivation to do anything. It's really weird, this weird energy that we've been in. I've also noticed there's been like, I don't know. I've had bouts of motivation, and I feel like I'm more productive than I've been in a while. Like I feel kind of like I'm almost coming out of some type of a daze that I've been in for about a year or something like that. And it just coming back into some type of wholeness. And I feel a lot of it does probably have to do with my chart aligns with a lot of the things that are happening in the heavenly bodies right now, too. But, so for people who have a lot of Aries, Leo, Virgo, a lot of Mars type stuff, there's just going to be, look at, if you want to look this up, there's a bunch of different, you can just look up free natal chart and it'll ask you for information about yourself. They want to know your birthday, your time of date of birth, and the location, so they can pinpoint the chart, the alignment of the stars above you when you were born. And you'll see a lot more than you will ever see in like this. You will meet somebody you've not seen for so long kind of crap. Personal reset is a really good example. Yeah, it is a personal reset. It feels like, yeah, that I've actually been calling what I went through about a week or two ago, a reset. I think it might have been a week ago. Reminds me of another look over here thing. Yeah, there is some of it. There is things that are like finding their way out, right now. It's kind of fascinating to watch, allow yourself to observe as you go, and then just move on is how I do it. Hello, Lavender Sky Panther. Good to see you. I've been thinking about you a lot. How you been doing? Oh, I just jumped. Well, hi, Trina. Love you. Good to see you. Sending you love. Monique says, hello, Mila. Love you. Thank you. Thank you, Monique. Thank you so much. Yeah, love hugs for that. Oh, yeah. They sending a lot of love out to all of you right now. You're not alone. We're together. We're feeling this as one. We really are. And I hope that you feel my love, because I really, truly am sending it to you. Like we are one, all of us. We have the same heartbeat. It's just that we're in different locations on the planet. We can still feel each other, and knowing that you are deserving, you're worthy of receiving love is often what limits us. And that's the only thing most often. Some whole nother level Dreamtime stuff is going on. Yeah, Lavender Sky Panther, including physical healings in Dreamtime. Awesome. Amazing things are happening, noticeably so. ET Dream included here too. A lot of people are reporting that. I'm really interested with that. Um, I've been having more individuals come to me. I'm noticing, yeah, it's really interesting how many of us are having these new, more increased experiences. And for Red Riding Hood, good to see you, girl. Man, everybody's showing back up. I'm so happy to see you all. It's like a reunion. Some of it Vegan Vixen. I'm just back from the boat. Oh, excuse me. You guys are talking to each other. And let me find where you guys aren't talking. Oh yeah. Okay. So here we go. Wait, that's Vegan Vixen too. Okay, here we go. Lots of rainbows in the UK over the past few days. Yeah, it's crazy how many things we're seeing in the heavens right now. It's pretty cool. It's amazing. Sending you so much love, Mila, and peace, family. Good to see you. Let go my ego. Our symptoms are definitely calling us to go deeper. This is our Layla Wynn sister that came on, our sister. I write it like that because it's like we're sisters in soul, you know. But anyway, she joined me on the show on Friday, and it was a really good show. So if anyone gets a chance, it was just a couple of days ago. We had a really awesome conversation. Our symptoms are definitely calling us to go deeper. I'm getting a lot of that. Go within and go in and go within. That kind of what they mean when they say that. They said that before too, back to 5 years ago, really. What they mean is there's some type of like upheaval energy going on in the collective, and allow them to do their thing. Allow yourself to kind of pull back from a large mixed crowd setting as much as you can, and remember your meditations. It doesn't have to be really deep and long. You don't have to go through like an hour-long meditation every time that you do it. If you don't have the ability to do longer than 20 minutes, then 20 minutes is best. They do say 5 is better than nothing. Anything is better than nothing. However, if you can do 20 minutes, just going in and finding that breathing, cyclical breathing in through your nose, holding it for a moment in the belly, letting your diaphragm raise, and then exhaling through the mouth and purge. I noticed too that if I'm doing it in a very short window of time, it helps to remember to kind of pop the cork of my mouth when I breathe, when I exhale, when I purge. So the kind of initial breathe, it's different because you're breathing in a lot, but similar to that example I just gave, kind of like what the dolphin teaches us. The dolphin teaches us that way of breathing, and so does the whale. That. So just letting yourself exhale that way, and just do it for a couple of times, and I find that I'll breathe normally somewhere in the middle when I first started doing meditations like this, and like I almost felt dizzy because the breath was so. You learn to do it more slowly, so it's not as difficult. Just practice. Let go my ego. Great show yesterday. Yeah, it was awesome. I'm really glad you were able to join us, Chef Deb, or watch it. Trina says, but also said in dream he was on a ship slash spaceship. I told him he probably really was. Yeah, a lot of us actually are. And we really, really are. And it's meant as a way to assist us and uplift us. So with this, because there's a lot of stories we get a lot of scary stories, movies. If you search, I mean, there's a couple more options now. Like I'm starting to see more stuff come out where it's like they're not all bad guys anymore, but most of this early conditioning, we were taught to be afraid. They were going to like harvest your brain or something like that, right? And so we often will go to this place of fear about it, just remembering that they come in to assist us most of the time. You're a sovereign being, and you decide. And so I know I will say this, that when we are brought to a ship setting like this, especially the initial time of memory of it. This is a precipice. This is a moment where you're crossing a threshold into good, something really good, where they're releasing and just enough of whatever it is that's complicating your energy to allow you to reach for higher frequency and make more aligned choices for yourself. So it's very good. Always. I've not really heard a single example apart from Hollywood where it's been a scary thing for real. Haha, yeah, of course, lots of rain. We seem to have the whole weather forecast in a day. Like fish after years of being vegan. Yeah, there's some really we're really the way that we're needing certain things for our body. And like I've actually been eating meat too, and I talked to a few different people. Like I'm not eating meat like I ate meat before. The way I ate meat in the earlier days in my life, it was like sometimes that's all I would have. I wouldn't make a vegetable or anything. It wouldn't go with anything. And but I am noticing that I'm including meat in my regular food intake more often now. And it's weird after having been like I was almost vegan. I still did butter. But other than that, we were vegan. And then my body wants more of this meat right now. So and a lot of other people are noticing that too. Guardian mentioned it in a show we did not too long ago, and a few people have mentioned to me in private. It's just something that it's weird, right? But our body needs something that's in there. So that's why it's asking for it. If we can honor it and listen to it, that then we can improve our experience in the moment instead of drudging through the density of it. Hugo says, I'm getting the angel number as confirmation and guidance. Awesome. Yeah, those synchronicities are so cool. I love it when they come up. And I've been seeing them everywhere. They're just nonstop right now. It's crazy. Too hungry and traumatized to contribute, to be honest. Nice to see you all, though. I'm very happy. I'm very happy to see you here. And, I understand where there is a lot of to be cleared, especially right now. So allowing yourself to honor yourself is really awesome. You don't have to speak up to be here. It is really awesome when you do. I'm really glad that you have. Mikhail says, anyone else feeling off balance? Yeah, dizzy, exhaustion, anxiety, and hunger. Yeah, I went through a period. I've been going through a period of like not desiring. I've not been eating very much at all, and then it's changed. Now I am. Now I am. It's really weird, and it's kind of like all of a sudden I got my GER on. The anxiety sensation, I've been feeling it in the body, is the physical anxiety that's coming in. I've been feeling that, and I've been feeling like the weird sleep stuff. Like I'm super, super exhausted, but I'm not able to get to sleep. And it's not because my brain's going really fast either. I actually feel wide awake though, until I decide, okay, maybe I'll get up and clean or something. And when I open my eyes, I'm like, man, I was basically asleep and I'm just really tired. But then when my eyes are closed, I don't feel like I'm tired at all. It's really weird. And then this dizziness and feeling a little bit off balance. I've been calling it floaty. I feel like I'm in many dimensions at the same time. And I mean, by all actuality, we are, it's just that we're noticing it more perhaps. It's yes. The answer is yes. Totally 100%. I see other people are also saying yes. Trina's saying yes. So is Vegan Vixen here. To all those things, symptoms, anxiety and hunger pangs, so tired and on and off dizzy. Yeah, it's crazy. Pardon me. It's crazy how many of us are actually feeling all of those symptoms. It's my neck, my back. Yeah, there's a lot of different difficulties that we're noticing. I'm noticing that the neck, the most, and then the upper back. But a lot of people are reporting like lower back too. I have been dealing with those things too, says Hugo. It feels like a full time to stay centered. Yeah, it does feel like a full-time job to stay centered. You're just focused on, and you know, I know that this is us reaching these, connecting to these other dimensions that we're simultaneously walking on. It's like a perpendicular walk. And so it feels really weird. It's like every time you take a step on the right foot, and I'm just using as random foot, random side, but every time you take a step on the right foot, then all of a sudden you're in like this density. And then you take a step with the left foot, and all of a sudden you're like, wow, I'm in this high frequency. And it's that rapid. And sometimes it's just, and then it can feel more, like, I don't know what a good word for it right now. That's really funny. Disorientating, that's a good one. Is just feeling like that because we're just back and forth. And a lot of times this flip flop kind of energy feels like we're crashing really, really hard, even though perhaps because each time we step in the higher frequency, we raise our frequency, a consistent frequency line up, that when we step to the other foot, it's like we're stepping into what we felt like last week. But it feels like we're stepping into much denser energy because we're still climbing consistently. It's just like this. That's how we climb instead of going straight up. It's kind of interesting. Staying in alignment brings all thoughts into unity, and being is far from doing, which is how we all have been dealing with life in general. So cool to know everyone shares experiences in diversity. Thank you for sharing, Don. Yeah, it is. It's really it's a balance. All of us are doing, all of us are finding what balance means to you as an individual. And I feel like it's different for every person, at least slightly, as unique as your fingerprint, And so there is no one size fits all to any of these things. There's very general, like meditation. But meditation and daily meditation can mean something different to every person you talk to. Some people meditate by drawing, and they do this like action meditation kind of stuff, where the gardening, it's kind of a meditative state for some people when they're driving, and they're doing it safely and not like in paying attention, but like there's a lot of different types of, and some people go really deep into trance. Some people just simply notice their breath and observe and be in their body. Everybody's different. Those are just some examples regarding specifically meditation, where we all have different, what is the best recipe for you. DNA is taking light solar codes and changing us from the inside out. From what I can tell, cold shivers could be the light itself clearing you out. And in fact, that's correct. And for Red Riding Hood, I'm really happy that you commented that. Thank you. Is that light is cool. You see all these like paranormal research society kind of things, where people are going in and trying to like prove the existence of ghosts and stuff, and there's always associated with the presence of an energy, there's always like it's colder right there, and people have long associated that with something that's fearful, when I find that it's not at all. And we find that it's due to light is cool. So as we actually take in more and more light, have you all noticed that your core body temperature has lowered substantially over the past decade? In particular, the past 5 years, I'm sure a lot of us have been noticing, this 97.6, I think. I've it's been a long time since I paid attention to what was supposed to be. I think that's supposed to be 97 is the temperature that we're supposed to be, right? When in fact, often like I'll be like 96 to 94, and I'm not cold. Like I'm good. All of us are like this. I didn't actually realize it was so weird until they would do like the far away laser beam kind of check your temperature, because you went into like certain grocery stores at first during the lockdown, and people would be like, man, you must be really cold, you know, but and I was grateful that it was winter time. So it kind of blended in, you know, after like explain myself. Um, anyway, we are noticing this because of this very thing. That light is cool. And so are we. And so are you. You're cool. Turning into our body and heart, making conscious choices and choosing what feels good and aligned, whether physically, emotionally, mentally, honoring all. Aha, exactly. Yeah, you know, we are learning that we are all the same river. We're learning that the banks of the river are only, you know, the constructs of our mind. These barriers and limitations are invented by us. And as we uninvent, you know, as we allow the dissolving of these constructs, the confining, limiting nature of what we think of as banks, and realize that we are a free flowing river, then, and that we are all of that river, that's where things become so much more accessible. And honoring each drop of water in the ocean is pretty significant. You know, if you think about it, we are individually a drop of water, and we are collectively the ocean itself. And together we become the wave. And the wave is now. And the wave that we are in at this time, this wave of awakening, is the grand crescendo. And we are here. You were able to stick around long enough to make it to this particular moment. And I honor you and I thank you for your service. It's been hard. We've had some really difficult times recently over this recent lifetime, is what I mean recently. Though many of us have come in here, and you know, I've talked to people who have, you know, 10,000 lifetimes here in this way, in and trauma after trauma. You know, I've had people that I've met that have had only a couple on this planet. It's very fascinating, but in that, what we're doing together is we're shifting the world. And it's not that we're shifting it into something new, it's being returned to its natural glory, the utopia that it is meant to be. You know, so I want to say thank you to each and every one of you for your service. Every one of us came and we absorbed, contained, and became the traumas that were left behind to be healed. And you've done it. You've picked up all that trauma. You weren't cursed. It's not karma. It's trauma that needed to be picked up by somebody. And look at you for picking that up. And thank you so much for being willing to do that. I mean, it's such a great service to everyone. We notice that when we heal certain aspects of this trauma, that those who had been over encumbered by it, unable to get out of bed, unable to simply, you know, brush their own teeth, were now suddenly able to rise because of you. I've watched it. I've watched it happen. I've been watching it happen. The more that you all heal your own trauma and realize that healing what's been blocking you from the sunlight of the spirit unblocks the others too. It makes it possible. So I want to say thank you to each and every one of you, because now they can all rise. All of us together. We can rise from the hiding place of the covers, and we can rise and be together. One heart, one voice, one love, you know, is beautiful. Didn't expect that to come through. Trina says that 98.6 is normal. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's right. So yeah, quite, you know, 4 degrees below. Yesterday I was 95, but hubby was 102.3. Dang. Yeah, 95 to me is like pretty normal. You know, it's about regular. Oh, I forgot to read your comment, Star Cows. She says, yes, off balance, woozy, and not able to get words out, especially when it's the more physical reality that if that makes sense. Yeah. The physical reality stuff, like trying to discuss, you know, mundane, you know, surface topics. I stumble like I've, talking to a crush in high school, Yeah, definitely. It's kind of funny. Yeah, the off balance stuff, I've been feeling it too. I feel like this is definitely us connecting to these higher frequencies. My daughter and I have talked about the temperature feeling much colder than the stated temperature outside. There you go. There you go. You're connecting it. You can feel it. You can notice it. We notice it. Don says, yes, Mila, I appreciate you sharing your heart space with everyone in the beautiful way that you always are. Oh, thank you, Don. Thank you very, very much. And thank you for all of you for being here and being part of this. This container exists because of you. You know, it's if I were just coming on and talking to myself every day, I don't think I would have done it. you know. Thank you all. And well said. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, that a lot of what that just was actually that was largely a channeled message. I get really pulled into emotion most of the time, that I often when I channel in that way. Thank you. Love you too, Vanya. Did I say your name right? I always wonder if I say your name right. I think that I say your name that way because I heard someone else. Kaz, thank you so much. I love all of you. You guys are amazing. Lavender Sky Panther, beautiful Mila. We are the barometers of the new loving way here and now, going forward. Aho, aho, exactly. Boom, that's right. We're here, and now that we've made it to this side, we're still covered in mud. We may have surfaced from the density, but we're still covered in mud, and there's some shaking off to do, and we don't mean to shake off on each other, but it happens on occasion, like a dog would when emerging from, a muddy depths, and it takes some time to learn how to remove that. And while we do that, maintaining as much as we can patience with ourselves as well as one another is all that's really needed here. I love all of you so much, and I just want to say once again, thank you all deeply from the bottom of my heart for this beautiful community that you all are, for being who you are, and for showing up every week, and for honoring all of us with your presence and your voice. And if you would like to share your voice in another way, I didn't mean to segue that way. That just came up naturally, but I'm just starting to feel October's schedule for the show that I have on Wednesday and on Friday. They're two different time availabilities. Wednesday, we go on around 2 p.m. Central Time. Sometimes we go on later, or earlier, depending on what works best for that person. But usually we try to stick to about 2 o'clock. And then also on Fridays, typically is at 5 p.m. Central Time. However, we could that's very flexible. I do it later on that day, make it a option on that day to be later. Be mighty. That's right, Melissa. It in order to allow for those who have different time zones and availability to be able to still come on. So if you would like, April, good to see you. Love you too. If any of you would like to be on the show, I'll try not to ask people. I'll do it, but I prefer to. I don't want to like pester anybody. You know what I mean? And so if you do want to be on the show, please let me know. Send me an email, Telegram message. I am interested. If I've not answered you, if we started a correspondence even and I've disappeared, it's not because I've lost interest. It's just I got a lot incoming messages all the time, and so it's crazy. I lose track of stuff really easily. So if you write in the subject line or the first part of the message in Telegram, so when it pops up, I can see that because there's so many of them, a word about the show, then I'll know that's what you're talking about. Because again, I get so many messages. I love all of you, and if I had the time, I really would sit and read all of them. It's just that I don't have. I'm a single mom. I'm the only parent in any capacity in her life. She's homeschooled, and so when I'm not doing this, I'm busy with her, or doing my own self-care practices. So anyway, I really do mean it when I say just send me their message, please, if you're interested. So yes, you're all freaking awesome, Vegan Vixen. Aho. Hello, Milan tribe. Be happy to catch the end of this. I'm so happy you were able to come, Wendy. Welcome. Melissa, thank you so much. And Dawn, beautiful emojis. AG says, thank you, Mila. Love you. Love you too. Thank you, Danita, very, very much. I'm so happy to see you. I've been thinking about you. I'm really happy that you showed up today. Um, I do have to get going now. Thank you all so much for being here, and I will see you. And I actually, by the way, I misspoke last week. Sharmony and Sven are joining the show, not this coming Wednesday, but the following Wednesday on the 24th. This Wednesday is Dr. Joe. We've had Dr. Joe like mix match shows, whatever mashups that we've done before. It's been really fun. I love the conversations that we get to have. Our good old buddy from the UK, from England, and he's a lot of fun. So if you do get a chance, that will be at 2 p.m. Central Time, which is 8 p.m. UK. And you can fill in the blanks for their time zones, but I you can see also too, I already have a notification up, so you can see what time it will be starting for your local area. So love you all. Thank you for the lotus, Melissa. Thank you very, very much. That was really awesome. Enigma and Enya are good for relaxing and meditation. Yeah, I actually, there's a lot of really awesome musics. I do have a folder that I have public in my YouTube channel of different high frequency musics that you can just use in the background too. We see what we're meant to see when we're meant to see it. Aho, guys. Exactly. I've been thinking about you too. Long time no see. Awesome. Well, we're in alignment. I'm happy to have the chance to be able to connect with you, Danita. Excuse me. That was unexpected. Huge hugs, all, and so much love. And to you and to all of you, sending you all so much love. Thank you for being here, being part of this community. And I look forward to seeing you again in a couple of days. Aho, blessings.